What's up everyone, Arctic here, bringing you guys a brand new Black Ops 2 gameplay. This commentary I'm going to be pretty much discussing the update patch that is coming out for the 360 this weekend. It came out for the PS3 earlier today I believe, and this one basically addresses a number of balance issues that most of us have complained about at some point in time. Ironically enough, I didn't know this update was coming out this soon, but my last Black Ops commentary, I talked about the SMGs versus assault rifles, and the big thing that I guess a lot of people have kind of noticed, at least from my timeline on Twitter, is that it seems like this update kind of nerfs SMGs to an extent, and it makes the assault rifles a little better, although there's some combinations that they kind of tweaked. So there's a whole bunch of notes on it. You guys can read it. I left a link in the description so you guys can check them out. But basically, starting with some of the gameplay stuff, the UAV now costs more. I got raised from 350 to 425. I was one that thought the UAV was a constant annoyance. It seems like everyone constantly had a UAV up, which is one of the reasons I wanted Ghost so badly. Bouncing Betties now take longer to activate. If you guys saw me on Twitter, this is one of the things I was complaining about. That was just an initial impression. It was like bouncing Betties were better than grenades almost, because they can be chucked like a freaking discus, and it seemed like they activated super quick. And I heard a lot of people say all you have to do is just duck under it and it doesn't hurt you. It's like the activation time is ridiculously fast. So unless you're freaking Spider-Man, it just wasn't happening as frequently as I wanted it to. So that now it takes longer to activate. Concussion grenades now offer less of a movement penalty with this update. So I mean, that wasn't one that really annoyed me. It's more so the bouncing Betties, I guess, and then concussion grenades. So if bouncing Betties weren't as big of an issue for me personally, I think the concussion grenades probably would have rose to the top, and I would have been complaining about that a little bit more. But the times that I hit it, it's like, why can't I move? And then you die. And you're like frustrated because you're sitting there for 5 seconds while the other guy, you might have a shot on him, but you can't pull it off. In terms of SMGs, all of the recoil was increased across the board. They increased the max hipfire spread. The numbers, I think it's like from 4.25 to 5 or something like that. I just jotted down some notes, so I don't know exactly verbatim off the top of my head from these notes. The MSMC, the recoil was increased. The PDW-57, the recoil was increased. Those are two guns that a lot of people were hyping up as the best guns in Black Ops. PDW was probably one that I would agree because of the 50 bullets. It would seem like it was pretty lethal consistently whenever I played. So those are all some pretty good changes. I think there was another one where they decreased the bullet penetration for all SMGs across the board. Maybe the damage, not the penetration, but the damage on penetration. For assault rifles, they reduced the idle sway, so they should be better at longer distances. Now the rest of the ones that I looked at were basically nerfs. There was 3 guns that they decided to reduce the lethal range and increase recoil for the XM8 plus select fire, the FAL plus select fire, and the SWAT 556 plus select fire. My favorite out of those 3 is the FAL. It's one that I've talked about in the past with select fire. It was freaking awesome. So after this patch, I'm very curious to see how it plays, if it feels any different to me. So I mean, that's one of the guns that's my personal favorite, and it was affected in this patch. So that's interesting to me. Sniper rifles increased hipfire spread. I guess there was some accuracy was pretty high for the laser sight attachment, so they increased the hipfire spread on that one. Didn't even know. The rest of the notes, there's a whole lot of stuff that you guys can look at, but I linked it down in the description so you guys can check it out there. I just wanted to throw this out there if you hadn't heard already. I'm pretty anxious for it to come to the 360, and I hope you guys at least check it out. For some of you guys that play Black Ops 2, really interested to see how the SMG versus assault rifles go, especially considering I just did a freaking commentary over it, talking about my experience with both guns, or both types of gun. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this update, and until the next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.